Hey guys, Tim Urban here with Texas Home Improvement. Today is actually going to be the before video for the Stihl iMow that I had installed. Now, I've actually had the iMow installed for like the last couple of weeks, and I didn't really want to make the before video about before I actually got it installed, because the reality is the whole point of getting the iMow is not just the fact that it can mow your yard. And I didn't really want it to be about, hey, look here, my yard wasn't mowed and now it's mowed. Because to me, the iMow is about a lot more than that. So Plano Power Equipment, they already came out, they installed it. It has learned my yard, and I have to say the first week of owning an iMow is really interesting, because the first couple of days really, because you watch it go and it's mowing your yard and it has a completely random pattern, and it takes it a couple days for it to cut every part of your yard. And so every morning we'd wake up and look, and there were different lines in the yard, and it would get and everything would get a little closer to being cut. And then finally one day we looked out and it was like, oh, okay, probably 3-4 days into it, we looked out and it had mowed everything. Now, it was also a little bit tricky for us because when we got it installed, it was in the middle of some of the craziest rain I've ever seen. And so the iMow was having to mow kind of in between these massive rain showers. But it did learn the yard, and so it is cutting the grass. I didn't really want the whole iMow thing to be about, can it mow the yard? Of course it can mow the yard, that's kind of its job. To me, the iMow is about a couple things besides that. The first one, which is really important to me, is that it's about saving time. You might be able to hear in the background my two daughters, they're out running in the yard right now. And every weekend, I would have to take several hours on a Saturday afternoon and go out and mow the yard. And that was time I wasn't spending with my kids. So the time savings to me are incredibly important. The second thing is that the iMow's supposed to be really good for the health of your yard overall. Now, we've spent a lot of time and effort trying to turn our yard into something that's nice. It used to be completely covered in trees and shrubs, and just, it was awful. And so I spent the last couple of years trying to tame it. And now we're at a place where we're really working on getting the right kind of grass growing up all over. So that's incredibly important to me, to watch what effect it has on the health of the yard. And as we try to get the grass to cover some of the last places that it hasn't reached, watching how the iMow kind of helps that. And the third thing for me that I'm really interested in is just the fact that you don't have to worry about it. It's going and it's mowing your yard, and you don't have to kind of keep a close watch out to make sure that it doesn't miss things. You know, because of the system that's built in, it just consistently keeps your yard mowed. So to me, that's the important part. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you some different shots of our yard so you can see what it looks like now. And then over the course of the next few months, all the way basically through spring and into summer of next year, that's really where you're gonna see it, because right now the grass is moving towards being dormant, and then obviously it's gonna come back in the spring. So I'm gonna show you what the yard looks like now, and this is the best my yard has ever looked. To be totally honest with you, this is the best my yard has ever looked. And this will be sort of the before, the starting point. And then over the next couple of months, I'll be making little videos about the iMow, some of the service and some of the things that go along with it. And then as we get into the spring and into the summer and the grass starts to really come back, then you're gonna really get to see the benefits of the iMow, hopefully. And if that's not what happens, I will share that with you as well. But I have a feeling that just from the first couple of weeks, that it's gonna be really, really, really good for my yard. Just a couple things that I've noticed from the first couple of weeks, it is really, really, really fun to watch mow. We've spent time out here just watching it go around mowing the yard. Another thing is that it really does it just takes care of it. So I know that's one of the things that I mentioned, kind of looking out for, does it actually just do it and you don't have to worry about it? The first couple of weeks, that is what we've seen. You know, we just kind of, we'll look outside and, oh, there it's going again. And right now it's mowing the yard. So we haven't really had to worry about it. Now, our yard has some different mud in places that the grass hasn't grown in yet. So when we had all that rain, the iMow would get stuck a couple of times, get stuck in a piece of mud, in an area of mud. And so we just have to, you know, pick it up, move it, and it's good to go. And the other thing that it's done, which is really good for me, is that it's forced me to sort of really level out the yard, because there were different places that I hadn't really noticed. There were little dips, little divots, little things that could really twist your ankle, but I hadn't really picked up on it because the yard, it's about 3/4 of an acre, so I hadn't really found all those spots. And so watching it go around, you'd see, okay, it kind of dipped down there, and so now I know I need to put a little sand there, put a little dirt there, and level it out. So it's actually gonna lead to me having a more level yard, just because, you know, it's out there mowing. So yeah, this is just gonna be the before, and then I'm gonna let you guys sort of follow the journey as I use this thing, and I'm really excited about it. So far, it's been a blast. We named it Brad. I don't know why, but we named it Brad. So I will let you know how Brad does with our yard, and I'll probably also be documenting some other changes that we're making to the yard. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much to Stihl and Plano Power Equipment for installing the iMow for me, just so I could review it and so I could check it out and share that story with you guys. So stay tuned and let me know in the comments what you think about the iMow. If you have one, what your story has been, and if you're interested in one, let me know what your thoughts or concerns are, and yeah, we'll just continue this story.